Good morning, everyone. We are still in good morning, and I thought we've almost gone into good afternoon. But good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me clearly? And I sound like I'm very excited, and maybe somebody is forced you inside this room right now. So can I hear a nice good morning from everyone? It doesn't sound like I have so many people in this room, but okay, I'll live with it for now, only just for now, and thank you for the tech support. I thought I'm going to start my session today with this wonderful slide I found, because in my last few interactions that I've had with a lot of people I've been meeting, quite a few of those people are here in this room right now. This seems to be a big issue. Is that correct? Okay, so that's two people saying yes. Is that an issue at all? You know, we may be ending at in 5 minutes. That's not the issue. Let's go home. Is that something worth addressing and talking about today? Yes, and that's what I thought I'll bring to all of us for the little time that I have today for all of us. And to start with, I wanted to ask some of you, why do people quit? You know, it's a workshop, so feel free to answer, to contribute, and I want to hear some answers from you. Why do people quit?
Now when the digital age penetrates into every...
Sorry? We give up. We give up on them, or they give up on us? Okay, so they say, well, it's time I move on. Okay, all right. Anything else?
We give up to take up.
We give up to take up. Wow, that's a lot of word play happening in this room. I like that. What? Anything else? Yes? Yes?
I think the age group also. We have noticed, especially in our industry, younger age group just leave because of more money.
Ah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. Yes, Pravendra. Now that's an intelligent answer. But the answer I heard earlier was a realistic answer. Is that correct? Because when I go and I ask people, why do people quit? What happens? They say, you know, it's this current generation. I'm just surprised to hear that. And when I ask about what is this current generation, and let's discuss what the current generation age group is, you will be surprised to know that the age group is anything from 21, 22 all the way to 35. It's still the current generation. And these are the top few reasons I hear. Do you think we are right on the reasons? Money is usually the first reason. So they say, you know, he'll earn or she'll earn 3,000 extra, 5,000 extra, will earn 10%, 15%, buy a new smartphone. How many of you have heard this one? Come on. You've heard it. All right. Okay. Yes, I've heard quite a few people talk about it. You know, I can buy a new smartphone. So that's one. Power. I feel very nice and important when I get a little raise, a little hike. I can talk about how now I have the power to command this kind of right. So people like that. It's a nice ego trip that they go on. Is that correct? Yes? This current generation loves to gossip. Is that also true? And where all do they gossip? WhatsApp. Oh yeah, I hear that. I hear people saying, can we just, you know, stop this WhatsApp? We hate it. Okay, WhatsApp is one. A few organizations are very dismal. They say, you know, unfortunately, I have to allow them internet access. And what does that give us? Where are they gossiping now? Facebook and a few people go on LinkedIn too, every now and then. So that's the other hidden avenue that they access. How about lesser work? I've had people tell me about, you know, when we were young, or when I started my career, we used to work how many hours? 14 hours, 16 hours. We never even looked at the clock. Till the work was done, you've heard these statements, right? You may not have made them, but you would have all heard them. Is that correct? Yes? And what do we expect from others? We expect something similar. What do we get? We get somebody saying, hey, it's, you know, 6:30. But I've been staying back half an hour extra every day. It doesn't work that way. Is that true? Yeah. Is that real life? Am I talking about real life right now? Yes? So people sometimes quit for something as simple as the work hours, or they feel uncomfortable. And we turn around and we say, this is so strange. How can a young person like this, how can a new recruit, how can a newly promoted manager, how can, you know, you make a list of all sorts of people, how can they possibly expect to be done in the set time and head back home. It's ridiculous. But we get it all the time. It's one of the reasons for quitting. And also, accountability. What do you understand by accountability? Let me hear it from you. In real life, what does accountability mean for all of us?
When you're held responsible for your responsibilities.
Okay. So suddenly you're asked questions. Yes. What kind of questions do we usually ask? Task-based questions. So for example, we will say, why was this not finished? Why did this not go further at this time? So many pieces. Is that correct? Am I right? Yes? And what are the answers we get usually? Oh, we get excuses. Yes. Give me a few good excuses. Let's hear it from everyone. What kind of excuses do you get? Huh? Anyone? उसने नहीं किया. मैं क्या करता? मैं तो तैयार था पर पीछे से आया ही नहीं. तो मैं तो 6 बजे तक वेट किया फिर मैं चला गया. You've heard that? So many times. Any other excuses that you hear?
Not get timely.
Huh?
Not get timely.
Timely तो हमें मिलता ही नहीं. कभी भी सामान नहीं आता है तो हम क्या करें? Okay. What else? It's mostly the blame game. And it all comes down to, वो, production planning वाले तो overcommit करते ही हैं हर बार. Is that right? उनको कुछ अंदाजा तो होता नहीं है फ्लोर पे क्या हो रहा है पर वो ऐसे बोल देते हैं. Now, this is real life. And secretly I want to say something. I'm so happy to see the numbers in my room. Wow. It shows people are interested in retaining their people. Can I have a round of applause for all of us attending this session? I love it when they have to add chairs for people. And if you need more chairs, I have 3, 4 here. You can take that. I'm going to stand. All right. So as I move on, I find that suddenly the social media has taken over our lives in ways that we did not think were imaginable till a few years ago. How does it impact our people, our employees? It impacts us when people go online and comment about what their boss did. It impacts us when they form little gossip groups in the offices within the team members and they WhatsApp each other exactly what the boss said, shouldn't have said, why they said, what are they going to do now, and it's an entire conversation. Is that always productive? Not really. Can I possibly ban these services? I can't really. I'll push them all away. So I hear these, why I bring these things to the forefront today is because these are the kind of topics I hear from a lot of people sitting in this room right now, where you tell us that, this is the problem I'm facing. But what is the real problem? Why are people moving on? Why are people quitting?
The current generation is restless actually.
Yes, we are.
It is the restless generation.
Okay.
Our time, we were sticking around with companies.
Okay. So loyalty?
They want to gather all those factors
Okay.
overnight.
All right. So they aspire for a lot.
Aspiration
Okay.
is much more.
So aspiration is high. I get that. That's nice. So I've got one generational gap over here. Aspirations are very high. Okay. So what that means is that if I rephrase it, loyalties have gone low. Is that also correct? That was a hidden statement, right? Loyalties have gone low. Is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Okay, you're all waiting. Did you have a nice tea break, or are you waiting for lunch, or are you passing your time looking at the watch? Are you WhatsApping each other right now and saying, oh God, listen to her talk? I hope that's not happening. So do I have everyone in presence here, in mind, body, spirit, soul, everything here? Yes? Okay, great. So let's find out what studies show us about why people quit. And a few of your organizations may already be doing this. You may already be having surveys, exit interviews going on. But let's find out what those real reasons are that present themselves. And I have some very interesting ones. The very first one is lack of challenge. How does that present them? How does it present itself at work? Any idea? How does lack of challenge come across for us? You're doing the same job every day. And what happens when you're doing the same job every day? It's boring. Okay. Why is it boring?
Because you are in your comfort zone and you don't have to push yourself.
Okay. So you're in your comfort zone. You don't have to push yourself. Okay.
Coming to my job and I have no use to my mind, doing the same thing.
I have to do the same.
Day, that's it, typing or something,
Okay. It's a very boring activity. Okay. Now I want you to remember why you said these answers that you're giving me, because we're going to plug these into our answers at the end as well. So one big reason is lack of challenge. And my question to all of you is, aren't all jobs in this world repetitive? Isn't that how you become an expert? Is that correct? So we're making two contrary statements. Jobs, for us to become really good, remember, practice makes perfect. So we expect repetition to happen. At the same time, we have people saying, oh, I have to repeat it so many times, it's boring. I think I should move on. It's ridiculous. I don't like it. So we're going to look at balancing these two, because really it's us who's got to balance this. Once we understand there is a contradiction, we have to find that marriage to make it work. We have to do that. Let's look at the second one, limited opportunities for growth. My question to all of you, if the opportunities in today's date are limited, were they ever unlimited? Never? It's always been a pyramid structure, is that correct? Always? Were there ever unlimited opportunities for growth for everyone? Never. But it's expected now. So what do we do about this? That's something we will be looking at. What's the third one? Sorry? Lack of appreciation. Now some of you are sitting there and saying, am I going to pat this person on their back every time they do the same repetitive job? Every day am I supposed to appreciate them? And some people are thinking, oh God, we never get any appreciation. So what's the right balance? And in what situations should you do it? Really, the answers are right here. Okay, let's look at the next one. What's the next one? Low expectations of the position. What do you understand out of that? Low expectations.
You don't take your self-esteem to that level
Okay.
On a particular position.
All right. So your self-esteem is low.
You are assistant manager, you want to be a manager or next higher position.
Okay.
You will low on that because of autonomy attached to that position,
Okay.
job content attached to that position.
Okay. Okay.
Start feeling low on that.
Okay. You start feeling low because sometimes you don't have the power to implement decisions. Is that correct? I mean, isn't that all low expectations of the position? We don't expect these people to do world-changing, jobs. We expect them to do normal, regular jobs. We don't expect them to make world-changing decisions. We expect them to do the normal things. And we also communicate the same to them. So we just add to the boredom factor. And then people, yes, move on. Inferior or ineffective co-workers? Ineffective team. Sometimes it doesn't take, sometimes you can have a leader in your team and that leader can quit out of frustration. At other times you can have a lot of people who are constantly talking negatively and creating an environment or pushing one person out. That does happen. That's what office politics are all about. And people are very sensitized to that. Lack of leadership. Leadership does not only mean, I'm talking about the CEO, no. Leadership is on each one of you. If you have 2 people, 3 people coming to you, if you have 8 people who you are working with, even if you have co-workers in different departments you're working with, your leadership stands out in those occasions. So you can't say leadership goes on that one person. No, not at all. It's all of our responsibility. Bureaucracy. How do we experience bureaucracy at work? Hindrances. Like?
Things taking time
Huh.
to complete.
Okay. Because of?
Stuck on various levels.
Okay.
So you start feeling frustrated.
Okay. So because of lack of decision making, because of a lot of, sorry?
Decision making gets delayed.
It gets delayed.
Your efficiencies get hampered.
Yes, and you know what? The biggest bureaucracy arrives when you start saying, I need this form to be filled in this exact manner, otherwise I will not take it further. Is that what it drills down to? When you do not understand that this one process, if you were to go through it and make it faster, you're going to create more productivity. Instead, you turn around and you say, I'm sorry, but these 3 parameters are not right. Go back and fix it. How many of us take the initiative of getting it fixed right there, right then, and educating that person along with it? Not many of us. And ultimately, it does get to people. To do a simple thing, I have to go through so many procedures. That's bureaucracy at the ground level. Compensation, work hours. Now, this is actually in sequence. So if you look at it, so I've got 5 here and 5 there. Work hours and compensation is actually number 9. In our assumptions, we start by saying that the number 1 reason this generation quits is money. But studies prove otherwise. Studies prove that a person is likely to stay with you if you're giving enough stimulation to their mind, enough empowerment to them, making them excited about what they're doing. You are likely to buy loyalty without parting with more money. Now, these are theoretical things so far. And we're going to try and put them to work. And when we put them to work, our focus for today is going to be how do we retain these employees, right? Now, for the last few years, we've all cribbed about the economy. And while we cribbed about the economy and how things are not going as well as they should be, we also cribbed about people moving. Now we are expecting things to get better, and things have already started getting better in quite a few industries. Our attrition problems and problems with people's accountability, and when I say attrition, I don't only mean people leaving us. It also means when you decide to let go of a person who's not contributing enough. I mean both of those factors. When opportunities increase, when the industry opens up, those will only increase. They will not decrease. They will not become better. Your attrition rates will not die down because things are better in the economy. No, not at all. They're just going to go up because now somebody else will call them for 5%, 10%, and then a third person will say, in 2 months, I'll give you 17%, and then suddenly you're struggling with this, 0.3% kind of raises too. We saw that a few years ago, and now it's going to come back. So what do? Let's take a look at what our attrition rates and what do they do to our balance sheets. Yes, ready for some mathematics? Okay, that's a no. I should give you all the answers before. Anybody wants to do any mathematics today? Yes. I have 3 people, okay. This side is very keen on mathematics. I hope they get their answers right. What about that side? Nobody? Come on. It'll be simple percentages, and I'll allow you to use your phone calculators. Is that okay? Yeah. Yes? Okay. Now this is a survey done that I have gotten off from a few studies, and it talks about the turnover cost ranges in terms of percentages of annual wages we pay our people. And the fun thing is, this is a global calculation. It's not an industry-wise or it's not a country-wise calculation. This is a global estimate that we look at. And if you look at it, we're saying that for an entry-level non-skilled worker, a lot of you hire non-skilled workers at the entry level as well. The turnover cost range is about 30 to 50% of their annual wages, right? If you go all the way up, you've got skilled hourly, you've got professionals, technical engineers, you've got supervisors and team leaders. 100% to 150% is a kind of money you're spending. Let's see what this number translates for us. This number is made of some very interesting aspects that not a lot of us even realize. In my little experience with HR so far, I've found that most of the people think we are a support function and we're not contributing to the bottom line in any way whatsoever. Is that correct? So when the resource allocation happens, HR always is the first one, last one? Towards the end, right? Come on. No 2 questions about that, right? So we take our time about it. Now, our factories work on machines, material, and which is a third M? Manpower. Or woman power. A lot of you employ a lot of women power. So, we depend on these three aspects, right? Yet, we fail to recognize the impact of a departing employee. Now, I'm going to ask you to do some mathematics, but before I do that, what does this percentage made up of? It's made up of the exit cost of the departing employee, recruiting, onboarding, and training costs of a new employee, loss of expertise, knowledge, and productivity, because of which now you have to train extra and build up more capacity, supervisors, co-workers' time, because now they will be handling all these responsibilities while you figure out who your replacement is and you hire that person. So somebody has to do extra. And finally, quality problems and customer dissatisfaction. So if you have an expert who leaves you, you're suddenly stuck with this thing of, oh, he was the only operator who knew exactly how to run this machine. My other operator is away on leave for 10 days. What do I do now? I have this shipment waiting that can only go through this. And you're stuck. Right? So open your pens and your notebooks. If you, do the people at the back have a notepad? Okay. Can I ask some people from the front to kindly share note pages and a pen at the back? We just need one sheet, really. This side too, we have people without notepads at the back. Thank you, fellow helpers. Lots of helping hands in the room. Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to work with some basic suppositions here to make it easier for us to calculate. And my first thing that I'm working with is, okay, we are going to work with a supposition and assumption that we have a company with 1,000 employees. We are working with very simple math of saying about 70% of my workforce is at the entry level, about 20% is middle management, and about 10% is senior management. Okay, so far so good. Very easy supposition that I'm working with, right? So 1,000 people company, and these are the numbers that match. Now, and I've also put some figures here for you. You can do your own calculation later on, but here's some figures. Let's assume that the annual salary or the entry level annual salary, not monthly, is 1.2 lakhs. So we are looking at a monthly wage of how much? 10,000. So if a person is hired at 10,000 and you're paying this person 1.2 lakhs is a yearly salary of this person, right? We are assuming middle management is around 4 lakhs a year. Okay, and we're assuming that senior management is around 9 lakhs a year. Now, you can benchmark it according to your own company as well. I mean, you can redo your calculations according to that. But this is my ballpark figure on a few averages that I'm aware of. Now, if I say that an average cost to replace an employee is 75% of their annual salary, I want you to do the first set of calculations yourself. What is 75% of 1.2 lakhs? 75% of 4 and 75% of 9 lakhs. Can you quickly do that for me? Wow, you don't need the calculator. Yay. Everybody's got that? Yeah, 4 to 3 is a nice one. It's an easy one. Okay, so you're good with that. That was quick calculation. Now, already these numbers are making a little sense and they're looking a little scary because right at the bottom I have 6.75 lakhs. You want to see the number go into crores? Let's do the next calculation. Let's assume that the annual loss of talent is at 13%. Now 13% incidentally is one of the best organizations in the world. Their attrition rates are at 13%. Okay, so let's assume, and now you'll need your calculators, 13% is a really odd number to work with. So 13% of, sorry? I'm sorry, what? No, of 700 really. 700 is the total number of people and you're going to lose 13% out of it. Okay? Yes? Is that the number? 26 and 13. So we are assuming that in a year, in 1,000 people strong organization, we are going to lose in a year 91 people at the entry level out of the 700 we employ. We're going to lose 26 out of the middle management out of the 200 we employ, and 13 out of the senior management out of the 100 that we employ. Now, again, I will say it, your figures for your own organizations will vary. So if you copy this chart and take it back with you, it's a good thing to work upon to make HR a non-support function to a money-making function. Okay. Now, let's do this calculation of if you lose 91 people per year, and the cost of their replacement is 90,000 rupees per year. What is 91 into 9,000? 90,000. That's your actual cost.
13% attrition cannot be relevant for all the categories.
We're looking at global averages right now. Global average is 13%. And as I said, I'm using as an example. If you take this entire thing back with you, you can actually you can change your numbers over here of number of people at each level, and you can actually find out and stick with the 75% replacement cost, and you can find out how much you're losing. So for this 1,000 people strong organization, where I'm assuming 700 are unskilled and skilled worker force, we're looking at 81.9 plus 78 plus 87.75. We're no longer talking in thousands, we're talking in crores. As I said, 13% is a very nice global average. It's on the higher side. Okay, some of the best companies in the world maintain that. Most of the companies are around 20%, some tell me 23%, and if you were just to work with 20%, look at the kind of numbers you're getting now. What's my purpose of showing you these numbers today?
How much the organization loses in terms of employee attrition?
Okay, yes, you're right. So yes, the organization loses a lot of money. What other insights do you get out of these numbers? You wanted to say? See a bigger picture, yes. It's no longer about one person in this department has quit this month. I have to replace this one merchandiser or whatever. It's no longer about that. It's not about that one sample guy I have to replace. Now I'm talking about the bigger cost right now. Yes, to review the retention policy. Tell me, if I was to now, imagine I was running a customer service session right now, the first thing I'd make you calculate would be the lifetime value of a customer. And I would give you figures like, imagine you have 10 set customers every year, and they keep coming back to you for 5 years, and they have an average order of, let's say, work with simple numbers, I'll just go with 1 crore each. What is the lifetime value of this customer? What is it? Anybody? No? 5 years? 3 years? Each year, yes. Yeah, that's the kind of lifetime value of one customer or 10 customers. If you look at the person you're paying, maybe the lesser amounts to or even the higher amounts, just look at the percentage that they're making over here. So I will spend money on my sales and marketing to get that customer, but my one loss of one manpower is going to be a big hole in my balance sheet. So it's like a leaking bucket. From one side I'm getting things, but from the other side I'm also losing and constantly spending on getting more. Is that correct? Yes. Very quiet. Is that normal or not good? Absorbing? Good, not good, I don't know. Retention has been never been such a big issue as it has been in the last 4 or 5 years now. It's become one of the biggest problems organizations are facing. And it's no longer at the entry level. It's also there at senior management level. Even if it's not always there at the senior management level, and this is another interesting study that shows that, excuse me, people who are not even quitting their jobs at the time, half the times are, they're just fantasizing about quitting their jobs. So if one person quits, they're thinking of, wow, what if I was to quit? It's such a negative impact. So half your people are looking at 3 people go and 6 are sitting there and thinking, wow, I wonder what it's like. Oh, it's going to be close to his house. Oh, less hours. Oh, pay raise also. Oh, he's got a promotion. Wow, how nice. So they have this delusional sense of how nice the grass is on the other side of the fence, constantly going in their heads. So it's no longer just about retention. It's about these people also who are constantly thinking about, what if I do this? And if they're thinking of, what if I quit? How is it impacting their work? They're not able to perform. What are they doing? Okay. They're applying for another job. They're constantly comparing with somebody else. And when they try to compare with somebody else who's maybe marginally better, they always find reasons to be at a loss. Rarely will you find, and this is human psychology, very rarely you'll find people who'll turn around and say, I am better than that person because of these 5 things that I have in my life and he doesn't or she doesn't. Only when we are faced with severe, serious circumstances that shake us up do we realize and do we thank somebody that, oh, thank God I have all of these things. But quitting a job is a daily activity. So you're constantly saying, oh, there are 5 things better there. What am I doing here? My next set of figures, not very confusing or scary, but very interesting. 20% of employees plan to leave their organizations within the next 2 years, as compared to only 13% of employees in high-performing companies. I'm not talking about quitting. I'm talking about planning to quit. I'm taking 2 steps back and I'm saying, what are you even thinking? I'm thinking of quitting. Next year I'll get this promotion, then I'll go. Right? Over here, we talked about high-performing companies. So obviously, there are companies that are doing some things really, really well. And there are companies that are really struggling to get even the basics right. When you go back to your organizations and you get your figures ready, you'll know exactly which side of the spectrum you are on in terms of your attrition rates at each level. But what is it that these companies are doing differently? There are only 5 things that we're going to talk about that are being done very differently. And let's read the first one. What's the first one? Okay, so the responsibility comes back to us. Number 2 is? Number 3? Number 4? Valuing people and their contribution. And number 5 is giving a voice to speak. Yes. Now they're very nice. As I said, these are very nice theoretical things that we see and we say, yeah, हमें ये ज़रूर करना चाहिए. I was in a very interesting workshop about 3 weeks ago, and I sat there and I said, wow, this is illuminating. There is so much to be done. 70% of the class said, हाँ वो तो सब ठीक है, पर ऑफिस में ऐसा कुछ नहीं चलता है. Many of you might be feeling like this after looking at this slide. I'm addressing our core emotions out there. So today the responsibility to bring action is going to be yours. So I'm not going to talk now. Now you are going to talk. And how are we going to talk? We're going to form our core work groups and we're going to do a brainstorming in each group. Okay? I'm going to have to form 5 groups in this room. And each group, I would strongly encourage that same people from the same company, please don't land up all of you in the same group. That's a very bad idea. That just, restricts your thinking. Try and find groups which have diverse people you don't know of from before. Is that good? Can I leave that choice to you, that selection to you? And if you find there are people, too many people from your company, please go to another group. It's not going to work that way. Are we good? Okay. So let me first, before I do this, let me form some groups. And Rohit, I will need your help. And yes, please. I have two people who are going to help me in forming groups. Maybe we can do this as one group here, and the second, third, fourth, and the fifth. Okay, so we're going to count till 10 from here, and that's going to be one group. So can I begin the count?
1, 2, 3.
5, 6, 7, 8. How come? How come you're 9? You're not 9. You're 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 5 groups. Yes, 5 groups. Each gets a different question. So if you could...
Groups of 10 people each.
I think we'll be about, let's start with about 13 or 15, yeah.
Standing discussions.
Yeah, standing discussions.
All right. So I'm going to request. Then the second group going. Mara, you can slowly get with the other groups. So in 10 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of you stand up. And when you select the table leader, starting from you, and about 10 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you stand up, so you stand up. There are 10 of us now in one group. This is going to be group 2. I will give you instructions. So get together quickly, say hello, and find a group leader amongst yourself. Alright? And again, can you quickly count 10 people here? So there are 5 of you, and just about an equal number at the back. So can you turn around? So just until you. Can you turn around, say hello to each other, and you're going to be group 3. And group 3, can you elect a table leader amongst you? And starting from you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Okay, so all
7,
of you are one
8,
group.
9. So
Second group,
including you. So 9 of you. And so 10 of you, can you quickly say hello to each other and form a group amongst and find a group leader?
Top 5,
We can discuss about our topic enabling
हम ऑफिस में कर सकते हैं।
find a leader.
Can I have your attention? Your group number 4, the topic you will talk about is group contributions. You're going to look at what ideas can we bring in to the workplace, things that have worked for you in the past, and Devyani will come and give you some more written instructions. And try and get everyone's opinion. The table leader, the group leader is collating ideas and then presenting them back to the leader.
Okay, do you have a group leader?
Yes.
Hi. Okay, so the topic you've got is enabling high performance. You already know that. So you've got about 15 minutes to discuss, debate. Don't give me answers that look good in a book as a theory. Give me real-time things that you say tomorrow. I can go implement it in office and ready for that. So give me 5 things.
Grace, go by the Grace. You have a better, more Grace.
5 steps.
Good fun, huh? Cataloging these. And we'll start with the first group. Group number 1. Group number 1, who's going to be presenting? I need the top 5 actionable points you have. And the topic they had was leadership and alignment, right? So I'm going to ask one person or two or the entire group's representative to present. And similarly, we will go one by one through all the groups and hear what your group's thinking is. For the other people, while one person is presenting, let's benefit from this and write down as many relevant points as we can to take back with us. I'll
to start the proceedings. Our point was number one, leadership. It was leadership and alignment. Huh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So we have jotted down 5 practices.
Okay.
I think first of all, as a leader, you need to be defining the roles for your subordinates.
Okay, so role definition is point number 1, okay.
Once you have defined the roles, definition, that's what I'm saying. Then after defining the roles, it becomes incumbent upon you to keep on constantly nurturing your subordinate. You have to parent your subordinate, you have to act as a friend, philosopher, guide to them. You have to be a mentor. You have to mentor the subordinates.
Okay, so
Mentoring.
mentoring your subordinates.
And then once the roles are defined, you can say that there won't be any conflict amongst your subordinates. You have clearly defined their roles and responsibilities. You have to create little empowerment. You have to empower your people that they can work independently and take independent decisions while attempting their own particular job. And then you have to have a system of review and appraisal on a periodic basis so that you can constantly monitor their performance to the roles that you have given them. And that review and appraisal can be informal and formal also, because while you are working in your department, you on a daily basis you can pat your subordinate on his good performance, and you can also over a period of time define a particular formal appraisal system and to appraise him on one-to-one basis,
Okay.
so that when the final reward time comes, he is prepared or she is prepared to what you have rewarded him or
Okay.
her. So finally, after appraisal and review, it is the recognition that you have to give him, and recognition can be by way of applauding or giving
Okay.
a pat, or in terms of monetary increments,
All right.
reward, etc.
Okay.
So this is what
Okay,
we
all
have
right.
summarized.
Let's
Thank
give
you.
them a round of applause. Thank you. You finished very quickly and on time too, and I hope you're jotting down what we hear, because I would be expanding on this. One key thing in leadership and alignment is less to do with leadership, more to do with alignment. So it's about, does everybody understand the role they play in the bigger picture? What is their role in the bigger picture? How do they impact? Like today, you've understood with those figures we worked with, how do you impact in your retention policies to create a difference worth lakhs or crores in your organization? Right? So do they understand what their role fits in alignment to a larger goal or the larger picture the company has? So I'm going to move to the second group number 2, who's presenting. Okay, so can we pass the mic over to him? Start with your topic name. Please stand up, start with your topic name, and then tell us your 5 points.
Good afternoon, friends. Our topic is on growth opportunities. First of all, it's rotations of job profiles for growth opportunities. Second is provide trainings for their skill developments. Third one is healthy and friendly working environment with decision-making powers. Assess the mistakes, rectified with proper positive guidelines. And the last and most important is share their personal problems and always trying to sort out in appropriate manner.
Okay. Okay. So I'll repeat that. You've got rotation of job profile, you've got training, create a healthy work environment, and health too is important. So healthy work environment, rectify mistakes and share personal problems and solve in the appropriate manner. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Can we give them a round of applause? Okay, I'm going to move to group 3. Group 3, who's presenting? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
our topic is enabling high performance.
Okay, enabling high
We
performance.
identify some point how to enable high performance in a company.
Okay.
So first we have to identify the attributes.
Okay.
What exactly the attributes we want
Of a
in
high
the person,
performer.
of the high performer.
Fantastic. Okay, so
Right.
identify attributes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then second point is important, the evaluation that is already existing attributes on the employee. So first we identify and then evaluation of the attributes in the employee.
Okay.
And third one is to give the training to those person who maybe can be doing a lot of other things or good things but needs a training. So
Okay.
we have to give training to the person.
Okay.
Just to upgrade, yeah. And fourth one, when a person maybe trained or something,
Okay.
and maybe a high performer, so gives him some reward and some recognition, or maybe a person can be a mentor for other persons
Okay.
who maybe are not, the trained and something.
All right. So make them a mentor. Okay.
And then last point is the continuous monitoring of this system and a person.
Continuous monitoring.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is continuous monitoring.
Okay. All right. Great. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Take a seat. Please take a seat. Group number 4. Let's hear from you. Who's speaking from group number 4? Okay.
Hello, I am Animesh Saxena. Our topic was value people and their contribution. Probably I felt one of the most important out of 5. Don't be jealous, I felt that. We had identified 5 major areas where we think. The first was, of course, the inviting, we create a forum in the organization where we invite freely the ideas and they select best out of that over a certain period, like in a month.
Fantastic.
And that should be rewarded. That idea should be
Fantastic
rewarded.
idea. Yes. Yes.
This second was the creating some sort of a financial incentive and the career advancement based on, for the best performing people and creating a transparent matrix on which their performance should be evaluated and should be transparent so they know. And then there should be a financial award and some career advancement of that.
Okay.
And then the third is, out of this, we create some star performing teams out of that.
Okay.
Not an individual. Because we feel that individually awarding may not give a good feeling. A team building will be left behind.
Okay.
So create a star performing team.
Okay.
And then there has to be some recognition which is displayed in the company that why their star performing team, what the thing which they have done.
What sets them
So
apart?
that the others, have some idea to follow them. And finally, the last, a goal to reach to a level where each employee feels he is the CEO of that particular job which he has been given. That's all.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's give them a big round of applause. I love the way you've talked so passionately about it. And I love the fact that a lot of these are immediately implementable. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to group number 5. Who's presenting in group number 5?
Hi, everybody. Our topic was how can we empower the employees in our units? Since we have a myriad of different backgrounds and therefore we need different approaches to actually address them. We could start with blogs.
Okay.
This is actually happening in one of the organizations.
Okay.
There's a blog. You can log on to that blog and give whatever you felt violated at or whatever happened to you and you want to put it out there, you do that.
That's a scary word these days. But okay, go on. Next one.
Then there are hotlines such as anonymous mail IDs.
Okay. The ombudsman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then this is something I personally came across. I was going through this interview in Bangladesh, and this woman, she has designated a proper number. The number rests with her. She's the MD of the company. The number rests with her. The employees can call her any time.
Fantastic. Yes.
Whether it is a leaking faucet or whether it is something scary, whether it, you see, I'm just trying to explain the range of issues that can be addressed. Because what she felt was that if people are calling her, it's not because it's the easy way out. It's because it was not
no other way
solved where it was supposed to be.
Right.
Then we were talking about suggestion boxes, how they're always there, and that the fact that it's there.
It just lies there.
It's just there.
It's never opened.
Yes. Even if it is open, there's no suggestion in there. So we need to create an environment where the employee feels that he's heard.
Right. Okay.
And that basically means you develop compassion at every level. Finally, this is something we came across from the presentations yesterday. I hope you all remember MRS Fashions. Mr. Nitesh was there. He talked of committees. So really active committees would solve the problem.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, as we near the lunch time, our capability to applaud is also, lowering a little. Obviously, we need a lot of reinforcements and support. Okay, so I hope you've got that. You've got those notes down, and as I said, a lot of these things have to be implementable. If it is not implementable, there is no point of discussing this. And I had a few suggestions to give as well. The very first one is about leadership and alignment. And if somebody wants to take pictures of these slides, if that's an easy way for you to remember, please go ahead and do that. The first one we have is enlist the support of leaders and managers at all levels, which means that if there is a new project coming on, are you doing a kickoff meeting of this new project, of this new client, this new customer, with not one person. I'm not talking about get your head of production planning, your production guy, or sampling and your merchandising. No, I'm saying get 8 key people who are involved and tell them why this matters. Do a kickoff meeting. Build trust and relationships on an ongoing basis, which means that if they are imperfect and they do goof up sometimes, it's okay to let go if it is not a very important matter. Build that relationship, that's more important. Show them the vision. Where are we going? Why are we going there? What's the route to take? Am I thinking of going in the European market, or am I now exploring Australia? Where am I going? Why am I going there? What's the difference I bring to the table? Do your people down the line even know that? Now, a few of us may argue and present at this time that, to do all of this, I need my leadership team to be here. I don't really entirely agree with that. Yes, they should be here. They should be doing a lot of things. You can be doing a lot of things at your level as well. The moment you say they should be doing it, that's the first step of the blame game. So today you can enlist support of your team members and help them understand why small things that you are handling at your level matter. What's their role in this game plan? If we do this well, where do they go with us? What is expected from them? We hear these words all the time, KPIs, KRAs, performance standards. Really, this is the most difficult part. And we want to yawn at this too, because this is the most difficult part of the entire exercise, isn't it? Who's going to sit down and calculate so much of data, but there are so many variances, but this, but that? Well, there is a way to do it. And finally, walk the talk. If you're leaders of your own team, you cannot be saying one thing and doing the exact opposite. You cannot be saying, it's okay, we learn from mistakes, and at the same time, be extremely harsh on them for that one little thing that they did wrong. You cannot say we should have a vision and then decide that you want to have a cozy little party with only one more person and tell them what you're doing, but not share the vision. So it starts with you. Okay. I move to the second one. Outline growth opportunities is, it's not always about putting them into a situation of training and seminars and conferences immediately, or promotions. A lot of times it's only about communication. Have you told them that in 6 months, if you do this, this is where you could go? These are my plans for you. I foresee you proceeding in this area. You are an expert here. I hear great reviews. I see you going there. It does not mean immediate promotion at all. It means what's in it for them, what will get them there, by when will they reach, what's a realistic timeline. Don't tell them something that they will not be able to do in 2 years. What other support do they need? What conditions must they fulfill? Does this mean they have to give 100% attendance?
If it does mean that, then they better be there. What other support do they need? If they stay in the company, what will they get? Really, what's in it for them? Enabling high performance. Again, the first thing, and I've said it 3 times already, how does their role matter in the big picture? Remember, the very first reason people quit is because of lack of challenge and because they don't know where they're going. And that's the biggest reason. That's the first reason, lack of challenge. Tell them where they're going. Tell them you need these extra 3 skills to get there. And only then will they start working towards it. Is that correct? Why will they work? Why will they challenge themselves? Till you tell them. We heard job rotations as I think the first point that we heard there. Idea sharing forums, very similar to the committees we are talking about. Training programs and encouraging implementation. I was talking to you about a program I attended where about 3 or 4 weeks ago where I was sitting with about 18 other people, and out of which there were about 7 or 8 people from one company. And they kept saying, oh, what's the point? We can't do anything. What's the point? We can't do anything. What a waste of the money. Yes?
Can I contribute to that? Because we were in the training.
Yes.
I had the opportunity to meet with different participants.
Okay.
And the company you're referring to, I asked them what happened.
Right.
And 3 weeks later, nothing has happened.
Yeah.
And in other companies, the next morning, because while we were there, we had formed a WhatsApp group.
Right.
The next day itself, action had started. And some people came back saying, "वो सारे training के पैसे 2 दिन में पूरे हो गए." So they were very excited, and some people said, "हाँ बातें हुई थी, कुछ नहीं होता."
Thank you. Absolutely. So in the same room, we had people saying, "कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है." And what a waste of time, money, and effort. So as a leader, and as your leader for your teams, do you even ask the question, okay, you went for this, I sent you to this seminar, this conference, this training, this workshop. What did you learn? What are you going to do? I think that responsibility lies with us. Not everyone is self-motivated to do things. And group psychology, if one person, the dominant person, doesn't like a thing, nobody likes it. Right? The food was good. So find out what are they going to do next. Right? So encourage implementation. Valuing people and their contribution, create a motivating environment is a very blanket statement that a lot of us make. And a few of you give very good specifics like having... so I heard from Animesh, I think he gave a lot of good ideas, his group. So create a motivating environment, pay salaries to industry standards, and a lot of you wonder about what compensation benchmarking is all about. We don't do it, but I have somebody here in this room from the Hague. What's happening in their life? Do they have aspirations? What kind? And finally, listen to them. When they come to you, do you even bother? Or do you have 10 other things that you say, yaar, jaldi kar. Haan, theek hai yaar, ye to hota rehta hai. No, we hear these things day in and day out. Give them a voice, ask for their ideas, allow them decision-making powers, have feedback forums. So I heard suggestion boxes, and I know they fail. The one place suggestion boxes work is when you when you tie it in as a mandatory one suggestion a month will get a reward. And you make sure that the first 1 or 2 times it could be crazy, stupid little things, but you implement and you give them awards. Then people are encouraged to do it more often. So you have to get that going, that rigor going. Have feedback forums. If you start a new thing, how is it working? Ask them. Have skip level meetings. Skip level means that if you are the one here and you have 1 level below and the 3rd one, you skip the level in the middle and you go talk to the people 1 level below and you figure out what are they feeling at the ground level. What are their challenges? What do they want to change? They'll give you real-time feedback. Honor it and make changes. And finally, 360-degree feedback for everyone in the company. Does everybody know what 360 is all about? You have a fair idea. Subordinate, peer, and boss. Everyone gives feedback on one person, 360. Yes? It's a very harsh, scary process. The results are amazing. Because people really know what people are thinking about them and make changes about it. It takes time. Can any of these 5 steps happen overnight? Nothing happens overnight.
Everything requires time. When does the first step begin? It begins today. It begins today by you saying, okay, out of these 5 into maybe 20 suggestions I heard, so in the room today I heard, let's say about, let me take a, on the lower side, I heard 10 suggestions today. That can be done in an office. You choose one today and you say, I'm going to implement it. So I want you to do this. Can you all choose one thing you want to implement? Out of all the things you've heard today, choose one. I'm getting the look of, is it time to finish? Okay, I'll finish faster. No? Okay. So choose everyone, I mean this in reality. Can you look at your notes? You want me to go back and forth on a few slides? Choose one thing you're going to do. Only one thing. And it has to be something that you don't have to first run to leadership to get approvals. Okay? Because I don't want that as a reason. I will not accept it. Choose one. Have you all chosen one? Yeah. Okay. I want you to pull out your cell phones. Pull out your cell phones. I know you all have cell phones. I want you to write a message, type an SMS to your colleague or co-worker who's going to remind you that have you started it. Okay? If a few of you feel comfortable sending that message to your wife, please do that. But we really need somebody who's going to ask you 3 times, have you done it? Okay, come on, I don't see anyone. Pull out your phones. I only see a few people doing that. Pull out your phones, everyone. Pull out your phones. And what do? You type out an SMS. You type out a WhatsApp message, whichever path you choose. Type it out. And you're going to SMS it right now to one colleague. That colleague may be in this room, and that's okay with me. But decide now. I'm going to do this from Monday. Or maybe some of you are heading back to your offices after this session or going home, and you want time to think. So think it over. Start it Monday.
Sending to wife is a problem. Are you okay?
I was thinking you might be referring to the opposite part, but yeah, okay. I have a few more practices that work. We've talked about training. A lot of you talked about it. But one thing new is something that a lot of organizations do already, which is this provide support for higher studies. So they encourage people in their organization who they think have the right attitude and are likely to be long stayers. So they say if you do an MBA, it's a correspondence MBA, that's okay, I'll support you with your fee. If you want to do an MA, if you want to do something, so higher studies support is something that a lot of organizations do, and some universities even tie up with organizations and give them scholarship support. Okay, so half and half, some such arrangements, they have that going. A formal mentoring process where in your offices you actually decide who's going to mentor whom and on what. You get that going. Flexible work arrangements are the new things. It's a new thing. Higher productivity works fantastically well, especially for women. So do think about how you can use that. Retention bonuses. When you complete 3 years with us, this is what you get. Loans. Loans at little or no interest. Where you say, okay, I'll give you this amount of loan, and from your paycheck, we'll just cut this very nominal little amount from 3 months later. So these arrangements happen in offices. Creches and daycares, daycare for children. A lot of organizations you may also be aware of are offering this in their offices where they have a room dedicated and people can come and leave their children there. Freedom to balance work and life. I wanted to ask you quickly, have you all finished choosing one action item? Have you all finished? What? I can't hear. Guys, I'm speaking for so long. Yes, have you all finished? Yes. Have you all sent the message? Yes. Okay, quickly turn around to the person sitting on your left or right and quickly ask who have they sent the message to, what have they sent. Quickly, let's do a quick check. We don't want any cheating in this room. Ask your friend next to you, anyone, ask anyone, what have you sent, who have you sent it to? Wrong message. Tell him, remind me about this. Monday reminders. Done? Okay, so tell me, have all your partners sent a message? I'm not asking about you, I'm asking about your partners. Okay. Aapke sabne, hello, everyone. Are you here? Have you sent a message to your partner? Have your partners sent a message to somebody? Partners, sabke partners ne message bheja hai na? Pakka, sure. Okay, good. As I start closing out, I also wanted to mention that I wanted to bring to the forefront some of the work we do as an organization. And you may have heard about the Bulletproof Manager that a lot of organizations here have already invested in. And a lot of things that we talked about are things that we work with in real time with people, with senior management cascading down to, this is a smaller group, and you might see a few faces you recognize here. And one we do. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, Karthik is also a Bulletproof Manager. And okay, so what do? We work on 10 core competencies. It's a development process because we believe that behavior cannot change in one day, in 1 month. It's an incremental process that happens over a period of time, and we take a good 1 year to work through that. How do we work through it? We tackle your, but the leadership doesn't agree first. So we get the leadership in, and then we cascade to middle management, and then a lot of people have moved further down from middle management to having them cascade to junior management as well in their organizations. So it's really up to you how you take it. Some of the companies we work with, so we work on a monthly basis, but you know, I find that from today's session, from the training we do, from other work we do, mentoring we do, coaching we do, it's a big fear that lives in people's mind. What if I invest this much money and this person leaves? Right? Big fear. What's the point? I'll invest this much, and what if they leave? And every time I hear that, I go back to this quote from Zig Ziglar, one of my idols, one of my people I admire, and he says, the only thing worse than training employees and losing them is not training your employees and keeping them. Today we worked on some numbers, and the numbers were around attrition rates, turnover. We said, oh, this is the amount of money we are spending. If you take unskilled people or people who you expect to respond differently, and if they're not performing adequately in their current jobs, you'll get a similar number of their inadequacy.
On a larger picture, I think he'll be in the industry. So if you're training, it's okay. You're also going to get someone.
Okay, yes, that's a nice thought. He's going to be in the industry.
You also started with somebody who trained you.
Absolutely, absolutely. They will function as great mentors too. So the thought of saying that, what if I don't, what if I do, these are very, these are thoughts that just create inertia and stop us from moving into action. Right? So I wanted to, in fact, bring my session to a close right now. And the last thing I wanted to say to everyone is, there is only one enemy here. And do you know who that enemy is? Ourselves. The enemy is within. That's the only one enemy. And the moment we say that I can't do this, the enemy has already established the battleground and is winning the game. So thank you so much for being an attentive audience. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to hear from some implementations that you will start doing from this. Thank you.